Could school shootings become the new norm in Britain? We like to think that this is a phenomenon constrained just to the United States, but today children were left absolutely petrified at a school in Bognor Regis where they were put into lockdown for several hours after a gunman was spotted. Let's take a look at all of the details being reported in the Daily Mail, but first of all, if you want more news updates, make sure you press the subscribe button down below. Let's take a look at the details on this story. I'm sure this will send shivers down your spine if you are a parent. There was a school called the Regis School put into lockdown. You had children apparently scaling the fences, trying to escape. Some children inside the building in lockdown mode, some children calling their parents, desperately begging to be picked up. This sounded like absolute chaos. And I mean, in America, they do drills constantly at the schools, showing the kids and the teachers exactly what to do if there is a gunman on the loose. But in UK schools, I guess this is something we just don't practice regularly. We're not accustomed to this. And so sounds like it was absolute chaos with people not really knowing what to do. You had armed police going through the town in Bognor Regis from the Sussex police after there was reports of a gunman. Now, it sounds as though, well, we haven't had any casualties or anything. There was a gunman spotted on the loose. It sounds like this was just in the town, wasn't actually at the school. But as you can imagine, for there to be a man roaming around town, whether they're at the school or not, with a gun is absolutely terrifying for all of us. Of course, you can't just walk around with a gun in Britain like you can in America. And so I'm sure this would have been absolutely terrifying. And of course, the students and the teachers who are just reacting to this news, who don't know at the time exactly who this man is, how much of a danger he is, if he's close to the school or not, they would have been expecting the worst and they would have been terrified for their lives. So, you know, those poor children and poor teachers at this school, they were put into lockdown mode for nearly 2 hours. They had police cars, police dogs searching the area, and it sounds like we have still got a gunman on the loose. They've now decided to let the kids go home, ask their parents to pick them up, but I'm sure they're terrified, you know, to just go about their day, go to the shops or whatever else they want to do today. They're probably locked in their homes, all scared now. Because they don't know where this gunman is. Now, we don't know for certain if there is a gunman. A gunman is believed to have been spotted, but we haven't actually heard of anyone being shot, and the police cannot find this guy. So where is he? I mean, that must be absolutely terrifying, not knowing if there is a gunman still lurking about in that town. I'd be absolutely petrified. It's a secondary school. They've got 1,600 pupils, and as I say, parents then eventually went to collect their children. Some were hiding inside the sports centre, and I think this quote from a mother just sums up how terrifying this would have been. As I said, in America, kids are very, very accustomed to going through lockdown practices and procedures, and they hear about school shootings. The news, of course, is absolutely terrifying wherever you are if something like this happens, but I think for British students who just would never expect something like this, they must have been really petrified. The mother says the whole school has just been placed in full lockdown. I've gone down to collect my children and they are just hysterical. I've never witnessed anything like that. There are children in the leisure centre next door who were stuck in there for 2 or 3 hours. There are children climbing over fences to get out. Kids are trying to call their parents and then being told off for using their phones. It has just been so poorly managed. As I said, they don't have very clear protocols in UK schools as to exactly what to do in this kind of situation, because you don't expect this to happen in Britain, so hence the mismanagement. She says there are dogs and probably 5 police cars in the car park. It's just carnage. Parents are now turning up to pick up their kids. My daughter was just hysterical and sobbing. And now the school have come out and they've downplayed the situation. They're trying to explain this was in the community, this wasn't in the school. But as you can imagine, any mother or any kid at that school would have been terrified, and they would have, potentially presumed the worst when they just hear there's a gunman on the loose. The school says earlier today the police informed us of a live incident in the local community and asked us to put in place our standard procedures for such times. That doesn't sound that serious, but I'm sure it was pretty hectic. To reassure parents, the incident was not school related and we were able to continue to operate a normal school day. As you would hope and expect, students behaved perfectly throughout this time. And I would like to thank staff for their leadership and support. The well-being of our students is our highest priority and we will always follow the advice of emergency services when requested. The school sounding like everything is calm and nobody is worried and there was no chaos, but I think the mother's quote says otherwise. I believe the mother over the school that's clearly trying to withhold its reputation. That's how I read it, at least. The police, they've given some clearer details. Around 11:10 a.m. today, police received a report of a man seen with a suspected firearm in Firth Road, Bognor. That this is a coastal town near Portsmouth, by the way, if you don't know where this is. Due to the close proximity of nearby schools, police advised them to implement temporary lockdown procedures while searches of the area were carried out. All schools have since reopened. Wider search activity, including armed officers, is ongoing and a visible police presence continues in the area. So a gunman may still be on the loose. Look, some people may be calm and happy to go about their day after the police said, yep, the schools can reopen now. I would be terrified until that man is caught. Honestly, if I lived there, I would not be happy to just go about my day and walk down the road and go to the shops. I'd be locking my house doors and hiding indoors. I can tell you that. I don't know about you guys. But anyway, pretty harrowing news. Let's hope that this gunman gets found and that nobody gets hurt in the process. And let's hope that this is not going to become more regular in Britain and that kids in this country can go to school and feel safe doing so. We don't want to become like the United States in that respect. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so you know when we're posting new videos. See you next time.